Hello and welcome to the Sportfish Spring Spectacular. I'm Simon Gawesworth. I'm going to talk today about some RIO products that I think you might be interested in. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is our core trout lines and the differences between them, because a lot of people get confused when they want to buy a trout line and there's so many trout lines on the shelves and you go, what is the best trout line for you? So that's what I want to talk about. I've got a selection of our best-selling trout lines here at RIO. We have the technical trout, we have the RIO Gold and the Rio Grande. So what is the difference between them? Well, let's start with the technical trout. As the name suggests, it is a line designed for technical trout fishing, i.e. dry flies, long leaders, presentation stuff like that. If you're a dry fly angler or fish small soft tackles and spiders and you want a line that's going to land gently, turn over very, very long leaders, it was built really essentially for the New Zealand market when people are fishing 16, 18, 20-foot leaders and they want these long leaders and the dry fly as far away from the line as possible. It'll turn over those long leaders. That's the technical trout. So if you're a dry fly angler or you fish really long leaders, that's probably the line for you. The Rio Gold, that's our just all-round general purpose best-selling trout line in the world, best-selling trout line we've had at RIO for years and years and years. It is a fabulous line. It's got a 47-foot head, so it's a good length of head. I think it's a great line for lake fishing. I like long heads because when you cast out your line and you need to pick up because a fish has risen somewhere and you want to target that fish, the long head allows you to do that. It'll throw dry flies, it'll throw small streamers, it'll throw nymphs and little indicators and things like that. So it's just a great general purpose line. And if you just want one line that's going to do everything for you, then probably the Rio Gold is it. And then the final line I'm going to talk about, the Rio Grande, that's a line that's got a shorter head. So if you remember, this was 47 feet. This is about 35 feet, so quite a bit shorter. It's also a bit more front loaded, and it's also a little heavier at the front end than the Gold. And that extra weight and that short head is really good for a couple of things. One, if you're a beginner, it helps you load. Right? If you're starting off fly fishing and you want a line that's going to make that rod feel good and load up, then that's a really, really good line, is that Rio Grande. I would recommend it for that. Also, if you fish fast action rods and you find that they don't really feel alive and you want a line that's going to make those lines alive, then the Rio Grande is that. And the other use for it, it's got a fairly short head, so a 35, 36-foot head. It's pretty good on smaller rivers or smaller lakes when you really don't need a lot of line, but you just want to strip the line in, pick up, make a couple of false casts and get them out there. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that gives you an idea of the different trout lines we have at RIO. And if so, you know where to get them. Get them from Sportfish.